Welding helmets these days, the most common ones are automatic. They're not the traditional passive bucket helmets they're known as. They're all fancy automatic ones. I just wanted to explain how they work, what they do, what their features are, and what sort of adjustments are available within an automatic helmet. So what is an automatic helmet? So what it is you can have the helmet on your head, you can line up the weld you're about to do, and then pull the trigger or strike the arc, and the helmet will automatically change from a light shade to a dark shade. So you've got adjustments of the shade that you can weld. So you've got shade 9 through to 13. So 9 is a lighter shade and 13 is a dark shade. The most commonly used shade is shade 11. Now in this particular helmet, you can see here it has what's called grind mode. So what that means is you can have the helmet on and treat the helmet like a little bit of a face shield. You can do all of your grinding. So having the helmet in grind mode is effectively turning the lens off. So that the grinding sparks, they don't turn the lens from a light shade to a dark shade, because then you wouldn't be able to see what you're grinding. So it makes sense to turn the lens off. And that's what grind mode does. We actually get a few helmets warranty claims, and we get them back and they're saying that the helmet doesn't work, and we find that they're in grind mode. So just something to be mindful of. Make sure that if you're grinding, it's in grind mode. If you're welding, you've got it set on a particular shade. There's a couple of other adjustments on the helmet. Now they could be located along the top of the lens on the inside. You've got a sensitivity adjustment, a delay adjustment, and then a shade range adjustment. So starting with the sensitivity adjustment, that is how sensitive do we want the sensors to be. So if they detect a large amount of light, they would trigger the lens to change to a dark state. Then you would have it on a low sensitivity. If you're welding with a higher amperage, so therefore the initiated arc brightness would be a lot brighter, then it makes sense to turn that sensitivity up higher. The delay, so the delay is the amount of time that the lens takes to switch. So when the arc is initiated, so the sensor picks up that you're starting to weld, and then the delay time is the amount of time from when it picks it up till it changes to the dark state. So this is all very small amounts of time, they're milliseconds. So you're not really going to pick it up. And even if you've got the delay on the longest setting or a long delay time, it's still well within the Australian standards for eye safety. So you're trying to protect your eyes here. So it makes sense to have the delay time short and the sensitivity high. Third setting here is it's a shade range setting. So you've got 5 to 9. So you would use that on oxy brazing or oxy cutting. So you're not really high amperage welding. It's for lower amperages. And then the setting over here is 9 to 13. A couple of other important things about the helmet is the harness and the comfort that you want when you're putting the helmet on your head. So you want it to be comfortable. You don't want it to be too tight at the back, so that when you've got the helmet down like that, you want it to be protecting your body, because you're usually welding like this. So you want to be protecting your neck, because all of those arc rays are coming up. It's like you're lying out in the sun on steroids. You've got all of these rays coming up from the weld, so you want to be protecting your whole face and your neck while you're welding.